indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for the day. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your eternal safety and guidance during this time. We pray, God, that you continue to provide safety and coverage over our community, over our healthcare workers, those on the front lines of this pandemic, those that are working to help those that are sick. We pray that you continue to help them. Keep us all safe and sound. And we'll ask it all in Jesus' name. Everybody said.
Amen.
We'll be seated. Before we start our meeting today, I wanted to bring to the attention of those that are watching. I know that several are probably wondering what's up with the pink and the blue shirts. And this is our attempt to just show some, I don't know how you want to put it, but support, I think that would be the best way to put it, of an initiative that our state senator's wife, Terry Johnson's wife, Jennifer Johnson, started in our community. Just trying to bring everybody together, to get everybody to understand that look, we are going through a difficult time right now in our community. A lot of people are worried. Some are a little scared about what's going on nationally. But to remind everybody that we're going to be okay, and we're going to get through this. We've gone through difficult times before as a community. This isn't the first time, and more than likely it won't be the last. But this is a special circumstance that we're going through, and we're reminding everybody to pray, comfort, encourage, and trust God. And on the back, our shirts say, "Don't only survive, but thrive." And we're encouraging everybody to hear these words today and to put them into practice, that we're going to be okay, and not to worry. Dr. Martin's with us today. He's going to explain some things that are going on locally in preparation and all the things that are happening, and to remind you of some of the good things that we can do to stay healthy and to thrive during these times. But just be reminded that we all have responsibilities, and we're doing that here, and we hope that you're doing that at home. As you notice, I just said at home. So if you can be at home, we know we have essential workers that are working, but if you can be at home, we're really recommending people to be there and to do that. So we'll just let everybody know what's going on here at our office today, and I know that there's a lot of people in the community that are wearing these shirts as a reminder that we're okay. We're going to be okay. So keep that in mind. All right. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes of March the 24th?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In a matter of request for appropriation transfer of funds,
Any questions or comments in regards to item 2? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In a matter of request for appropriation of funds,
Any questions or comments regarding item 3? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In a matter of accepting an amended certificate from the Budget Commission,
Questions or comments in regards to item 4? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In a matter of accepting miscellaneous notices and reports,
Any questions in regards to item 5? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of Scioto County Department of Job and Family Services 2020 Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Plan COVID-19 Response Edition.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 6? Hearing none.
I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of pre-payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates in a total amount of $407,427.57.
Any questions or comments in regards to item 7? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution declaring a local emergency in Scioto County, Ohio regarding COVID-19.
Questions or comments in regards to item 8? Hearing none.
I'll make the motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye. All right. Mrs. Coleman, would you have anything in addition?
Not at this time.
All right, Mr. Crabtree.
No.
All right. We do have Dr. Martin with us today, and if we would ask you to go to the mic and basically just, whatever's on your heart, Doc. Dr. Martin is our health commissioner in Scioto County, and he is very much on the front lines of preparation and, everything COVID-19, basically.
Yes.
So,
And I'd like to thank the commissioners for putting us in a state of emergency, I guess. Necessary. I think we're going to get cases here. As you know, the federal government's declared emergencies, as has the governor. And we're a regional hospital center, a regional center for the health of the people in this area. And we do have cases in the area. So I think it's just a matter of time before we get a few cases ourselves. This will help us communicate better throughout the county as well as throughout the area, and it will make us, I think, better informed and hopefully get us some funding for this. So right now, Scioto County does not have any cases. Some of this data is from the hospital systems. SOMC and KDMC have sent about 330 cases off. Right now, 195 are negative. We've had that one positive, and that was that woman who worked at the A plant. And she lives in Pike County. So we don't have any cases here yet, and the other ones are pending. We're still having a really slow turnaround time in that because we're running it through LabCorp. But of course, I'm sure they're swamped with other areas they're testing. We just got one back. It was 13 days since the patient was tested, and they've been self-quarantining themselves for 13 days, and God bless them for doing that. I think that was, taking a lot out of their life to get that done. But I appreciate everyone who's self-quarantining and follows these rules. I want to be perfectly clear in that we have some powerful tools that we are using, and these powerful tools are social distancing, staying at home, washing your hands for 20 seconds. If you don't have that, using the alcohol sanitizers. Those are very powerful tools to kill this virus. And as long as we use that, I think we'll have a very low number of cases in the area. But we've got to continue to use these things. When we go out to Kroger's and get food and these things that we have to do that are essential activities, we need to maintain those distances and make sure we wash our hands. I don't know if you've been watching the governor. I'm sure you have. And Dr. Acton, we have 1,933 cases in Ohio, 39 deaths, and 27,000 people have been tested. That's a good number when you compare it to other states. Michigan, they have 6,500 cases right now. Michigan is a couple million shy of us, so they're a smaller state, and they already have that many cases. So I think a lot of the activities that the governor's put in place and the restraints and that we're following these rules, I think it's going to help us a lot. The hospital is preparing right now for a surge of hospitalized patients. They talk about we're going to have a peak at the end of April, maybe the 15th or so. And then 2 to 4 weeks later, we're going to see a peak in hospitalizations as these people get sick and have to come in. They were talking about, I don't know if you've heard the numbers, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 new cases a day around the middle part of April. So that's what we're trying to decrease. The measures that we've taken right now, if we hadn't have taken them, we would have about 8,000 cases right now a day. So by doing these changes already, we have pushed that number down again we have 1,933 cases total, and only 200 or 300 new cases have been identified. So that's been very helpful. What we're doing is helpful. Continue doing it until you hear otherwise.
Very good. Can I ask a question in regards to everyday person sitting at home? We know that we're in the middle of allergy season.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of flu season, upper respiratory infection season. It seems like everything under the sun is going on at the same exact time. What would you recommend would be the time? I mean, we all know our bodies. I mean, I know if I'm getting a cold, I know when I'm getting a cold. If I'm getting the flu, you tend to know, you have the chills and you have the fever and all that. When would someone want to reach out to their healthcare provider in concerns about COVID?
It's really, I think the number one issue is the fever. Most people are going to have a fairly high fever. Over 99.5% of the people report a fever with it. So fever's number one, dry cough, things like that. There's an app that you can get from Apple if you want to put your symptoms in and see. But you can always call the hospital's number, 356-CARE, and they will walk you through that. They are getting, a couple hundred phone calls a day, but they're testing less and less people because they don't meet the criteria. When they started this testing and they were using an RSV panel, 20% of the people either had flu A, flu B, adenovirus, or something in that panel, as opposed to the one person out of 190 that we have back that had the COVID-19. So it's much more likely that you're going to have one of those viruses. And you're right, it's allergy season. I know my cough is kicked up, and I'm taking my antihistamines and my nasal spray and all that stuff. And that's important to do now because you don't want to confuse those symptoms later to make sure you take your antihistamines and your other medications. So it's still very unlikely that it is COVID-19, but you call that number and they'll walk you through the process, and they can test you for it.
Yes.
The hospital's also looking at purchasing machines that will have a turnaround time within 15 minutes on the machine. So, if we push this back far enough, we're going to have enough, we're going to get some reinforcements here that will give us more data, and that's why we need everyone to stay at home and wash their hands.
Can you answer I see a lot of people on social media saying, we're not testing, that's why we don't have the numbers. Can you speak to that? Because, we are testing, but it's the criteria. You just mentioned something about the criteria needs to be met in order to do that.
Right. Well, we are testing, but testing is limited. We don't have testing for everybody. We can't test everybody every day, and should everybody every day be tested? So we just don't have that capability. So we're trying to test appropriate individuals who are very sick and who would need more intensive intervention. There's nothing I can do about it. The CDC is working on it. Everybody's working on it to try to get more testing out there because we absolutely need it. We need more testing. We need good treatment, and we need immunization, whether through getting the disease or getting a vaccine. So those are the three big things we need. And we're working on the testing. And you watch the news. Roche Labs got a new machine. There's a new machine out in California that they're looking at purchasing. So we're ramping up as best we can.
Right. Okay. All right. I've spoken to the CEO of SOMC, Mr. Gill, and also the gentleman that operates KDMC here in Ohio, and they were very encouraging that they are doing everything they can to get prepared to deal with any current potential cases, of course. The testing, we've been running for several weeks now, to do testing. So that is happening, and they feel like they're prepared as best they can be, and preparing even more every day. So
absolutely.
Very
and the more
encouraging.
time we get, the more preparations we can make, and I think the better off we'll be. So.
Right. Okay. All right. Are there any questions for Dr. Martin?
I don't think any specifically for Dr. Martin.
Okay.
This one might apply. It's from the Scioto County Daily News.
Okay.
The two questions we have are from the news.
Okay. All right. Go right ahead, and maybe combined we'll figure this out.
Dr. Acton has indicated that the test should be sent to ODH for faster turnaround. Why are we using LabCorp?
Yeah, ODH still hasn't relaxed their rules as to what samples they will take. So they still have pretty strict criteria, and they haven't offered to change that criteria at this point. So right now we can't send samples up there unless they meet their criteria, and their criteria are pretty strict about healthcare workers, people having a fever and illness and things like that. So, yeah.
If you think you've had it, are they able to test to see if you had
Eventually, we'll be able to do antibodies tests. That's a blood draw, but right now we don't have that capability. There are like 9 different coronaviruses running around, so
Wow.
it's not that simple.
Yeah, I saw that. There was a report yesterday about that, about eventually they'll be able to tell, and they mentioned the antibodies and
Yeah.
what your body creates and does, and it's complex, my goodness, but yeah, eventually.
Okay, this one's a long one because they have a quote from the CDC in it, so bear with me. I have a question related to our region's addiction struggle. According to the CDC, people with opioid use disorder and methamphetamine use disorder may also be vulnerable due to those drugs' effects on respiratory and pulmonary health. Additionally, individuals with a substance use disorder are more likely to experience homelessness or incarceration than those in the general population, and these circumstances pose unique challenges regarding transmission of the virus that causes COVID-19. In our county, is our county taking any special measures to address the needs of our addicted population?
Well, we have many treatment centers out there, and they are still open. They're seeing patients on a limited basis, either through phone or through telehealth. And I would encourage patients to continue doing the counseling, because this is a stressful time, not only for those who are suffering from opiate use disorder, but for all of us. And it's nice to be able to talk to somebody and express what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially with the way that probation has had to suspend their face-to-face counseling right now, there's some extreme measures being taken to protect others, you know, and I think that the risks are higher for them. They really are, and that's unfortunate. But I do go back to, if everyone will follow the social distancing guidelines, and that means everybody. Everybody has to do that. And if you do that, and it goes back to what you were saying, Doctor, that the risk is not totally mitigated, but it's reduced. And that goes for everybody, even in those counseling, those centers of counseling, those rehab facilities. Those same rules apply and need to be followed, the same as it does for everybody. And it's complicated. It does. It adds a whole new layer of complication, and it's really contingent, I believe, on the organizations, those companies, those rehab centers, to enforce that within their organization, within their facilities. They need to do that. And my understanding is they are, but it's definitely a real concern. It really is. We were talking about that coming in today, discussing what are the increased risk, and hopefully everybody's following the guidelines that are being set forth, because they're good for everybody.
Yep.
So,
All right.
okay. Any other questions? None? That's all? All right. Okay. With that, we appreciate everybody watching. In addition to, good news this morning, we don't have it live streamed yet, but we're working on it. But we're adding YouTube to our bag of tricks here, trying to get the word out, tool pouch, whatever you want to call it. And so you will have not only access to our meetings on Facebook Live, but our meetings will also be posted on YouTube. And we posted the most recent couple, and then this one will go on, and from here on out until we can get it live streamed. But that's a process. I'm not the techie guy. So you have an additional question?
Yeah,
Here we go.
From the Scioto County Daily News again. Do you anticipate an issue with having people show up for court since they are given a summons to appear instead of being placed in jail? And can you tell us your understanding of the updated election procedures?
Two things. The first off is, do we anticipate problems? We hope not. That's more of a court question. That's something to ask the judges and, of course, the people involved with our adult probation. that is down the road a little bit. I believe everybody was given a 30 days summons to reappear. I'm sure those schedules are set. We're just going to have to watch and see what happens. I mean, there's no way to know or anticipate. People need to meet their court dates, and we'll see how that goes. The second question is in regards to the election. Our understanding is that there is no further in-person voting. Help me out here. Make sure I say this right. No further in-person voting in the courthouse or at the precincts. You can call the Board of Elections to get a ballot request form. You can go online to sos.gov, which is Secretary of State, and print your own ballot request form off. You can, once you get that ballot request form from either the Board of Elections or from online, you need to fill that out and mail that in. That'll come to the local Board of Elections. They will send you a ballot, and then you will need to fill that ballot out and send it back. All of that has to happen by
I think the 26th, well, it has to be
27th.
sent back, but yeah, it has to be postmarked by 27th.
Postmarked by the 27th, which means if you wait that long, it won't be here by the 28th, because mainly our postal service takes a few days. By the time it goes from here to Columbus and back to here, which has always been I've always been confused as to why, but that's the postal service. By the time that happens, they probably won't receive it until the 29th here, which means the vote tabulations are going to take a couple of days to come in, that the 28th probably won't be the final word. And matter of fact, it never is. The Board of Elections will meet at a later date to validate the election. They always do. So we recommend everybody get your ballots in as soon as possible. We've gotten a lot of feedback from the public on this. I answered a lot of questions yesterday. Some people are upset that they can't vote in person. That's not a decision that's made at the local level. We did not make that decision. That is something that's made in Columbus. Decisions are made in Columbus. So all we're doing is we're following what we're being given. So that is our understanding. I hope that answers the question. Is it easy? No. Is it cumbersome? Yes. But I feel that if a person really truly wants to vote, that they'll take the time to go through that process.
The 27th of
April.
April.
Yes, this month. So, or this coming month. So people need to move fast. Anything further? All right. We have a motion to adjourn, or
So
yeah,
moved.
adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Crabtree.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.